Hey everyone, so in this video I'll be talking about how to use Git version control system and how to use it in your daily modifying file and saving it in different versions. So I'll be talking about why you will use Git and what things have raised the use of the Git. So let me take an example that I've created this file which is pythonprac.py. Now let's say in this I have created a function, right? So I've created a function. Now this function just simply returns an object to a string. So if I pass in some object, it will convert it to a string which gives a class of it and the string value, right? So I want to keep this and save this. Now after some time I decided that I want to make a change to my function and add a error that if the passed object is an in dictionary, then I'll raise an value error that I can't change the directory to the string, dictionary to a string. Okay, now if I do that, now it gives me raise value error, can't change dictionary to string, right? So what I did was I had a file which doesn't have any this error. I want to keep that the file which doesn't have a feature that tells the dictionary can't change the dictionary. I want to keep this also, and I want to keep with the changes also. Now what I'll do is I'll simply make another file, right? So that's what the normal thing will come in mind, that I'll just copy and I'll just paste it and I'll make changes to this. So here I have no error in this, which simply converts it to a string. It converts dictionary to a string, and I have another file in which I can't convert it to a string. So what I end up doing was I had two files now, one with not a feature and another with a feature, right? So what I decided later was keep on adding some feature to that function. Now what I'll end up doing was making the whole lot of files in my directory, which will not look good. So that's where the Git version control system comes in. So now if I delete that, and now I have file with the first version which doesn't have any checking if dictionary is not. What I'll do is I'll simply make a project here or make a repo here. So for making a repository or to make a version of this file which I can add features to it, I'll make a repo. So for making a repo, I'll type git init. So that will make a repo which is namely .git, right? So now which file I want to add to keep track of it, or make a different version of the file, I'll add that file to my repo. So if I want to check which are the files which are currently not tracked for keeping the versions, I can do that by simply git status. That will tell me that these are the files which are not added to my repo and are not tracked right now. Now to simply add this file to the repo, I'll simply do an add, which is git add. Now option is tag A, which simply add all the files from the directory to the repo. I simply added that. Now if I do a git status, git status, that will tell me that these are the files which are added to my repo, and these things are yet to be committed. So committed means these files have been added, but it is not saved for becoming a certain version. So if I save this file for first version, then I can add more feature to it, and if I want to if I don't want any features that I accidentally added to that, I can go a step back and choose the previous version. So commit means to save to a version. Okay, now I simply git commit with message. With a message, you can use any message which are relevant to the edit you do. This is very crucial because for the point in time when you want to make changes or you want to revert back to changes, you have to know at what point you want to go and what file had contained at that time. So git commit message will tell you that crucial part. Okay, so I'll simply, for now, I'll type initial commit. Now the commit has been made. Now to simply see how many commits we have made to the file, that Python track, I'll simply type a git log. That will give me the commit log, how many commits have been made, and the author of it. So this is the point where you want to see the people who have made the commit to this. Now if you see the GitHub, there are a lot of developers there, and a lot of commits have been happening to the same project, right? So there are a lot of peoples and there are a lot of commits they have been making. So it is very crucial to say that which person have made the commit, right? So in this local changing, we can alter the name, add the name, so we'll know that whose commit was that. So in order to do that, we'll do a simply git config, and we'll add a username. You can see that author name is there and author email ID is there. So to add author name, we'll do a simply git config username and add a name. I'll do a simply my name. That will add a username, and I'll add my email ID. Now to do that is user email. That's all for this. Now that will simply update the value of it. So to see the changes or the author, I'll do a simply git config attack list. That will show me the list of things which config has, but these two are main, right? So that's the thing for the commit, and to see how many people have made commit to the file, and we have made only one commit, which we can see through git log. Right now git status, if we see that there are no files to be committed because we have made already a commit. Okay, so now if I decided that I want to add a feature which to raise an error value for dictionary object. I'll simply uncomment that and I'll save that. I'm just saving. I'll just press Ctrl S. Now if I run this file, it will give me a can't change dictionary to string, right? So that's the feature I added. Now if I close it and if I again see this with if I want to check that whether this directory have made any modification to the any file which have been tracked, we'll simply do a kick status. That will tell me about that the file which we are tracking have been modified, right? So these are modified, but these are not prepared to be committed. So what I mean by that is, when you want to commit to a file or make a version of a file, we have to prepare it or we have to stage it. So staging is done with simply a get add value. We have done this previously also. That's also called the stage. That's the same thing. Get add simply tag u. Now what tag u will do is, it will add file which are we tracking to the staging area or to preparing area for commit. Okay, now it will add the file python track which has been modified to the staging area. Now if you see simply the git status, it will tell that it is ready to be committed. It is in staging area and it is giving me option to, if I want to unstage it or unprepare for commit to it. So if I want to simply unstage it, I'll simply type git reset. That will bring that file back to it was from the staging area. Now if I see that what is the status of the directory, it will simply tell me that it is not prepared to be committed and it is not in the staging area. We'll simply add it to a staging area by the command, you know, this get add tag u. This will add to the staging area. Okay, so now we are ready to commit this file. Now we'll simply commit it with a message. Tag m tells that I want to add with a message. What I think what do is added a error for dictionary, right? So that's what we did in the file. We added a error for dictionary object. So we made a commit. Now if I see that git status, now it's telling me that there are nothing to commit and the working is clean, right? Now what if okay, let's see how many commits we made is 2 commits, added error for dictionary and initial commit, right? So 2 commits we have been added. So if you see the author, previously I had this in my configuration file and I changed that configuration to this configuration username and user email. So that tells me that 2 different people have made changes because the author name there is a space, right? So they are different. Now if I decided to add that if error for the list, it will give me an error for the list. Now when I add a list. Now if I add a list and convert it to a string, it will give me an error that can't change list to a string. Okay, I saved that. Now if I see here, if I get status, so get status tells me that the file has been modified. Now we'll send this file to the staging area by simply git add. So before git adding to the staging area, if we want to see what changes we made, we'll do a simply git diff. What we'll do is it will tell me the difference in the already versioned, saved, committed file we have in the repo and the file which has been modified right now. So it will tell me that this thing I have added, which is plus, and this thing I have been deleted, and this thing in the added, this thing added, and this thing deleted, right? So now if I add to the staging area, I'll simply add it to the staging area. If I see that it has been added to the staging area. Now if I again do git diff, it will not tell me the difference because it has been transferred to the staging area. Now if we are in staging area and if we want to see that what are the difference in the modified file and the already version file, we'll do is simply git diff and add a tag cached that will tell us the difference. Okay, now we'll simply commit it with a message replaced dict error with list error. That will do the commit. Now if I see how many commits we have made yet, so we have made 3 commits: initial commit, error for dictionary commit, and replace commit. Okay, so that's the whole thing you can do with the local versioning system. So we'll do a simply more talk about if you are stuck in some place and you don't know any commands you can run. What we'll do is simply get help and the command which you want to see. So get help add, if you want to see the help for add command, it will send us to the page which have documentation. It will be a manual page, will tell us about the synopsis and the description and what thing you can run it with. And the another way is git add tag help. That will do the same thing. It's your preference what do you. That will do the same thing, so you can see both are same, right? Okay, so that's all for now. If you have any doubt, please leave the doubt in your comment section, and you can appreciate this video with your like and subscribe to my channel, and thanks.